And that's one of the things that's really tricky when you're doing sex research because people want to believe, like, they want that academic research to override people's lived experiences. And granted, anecdata, subjective experience is not generalizable to everyone, but it's good to talk about your subjective experience just because there might be someone else who is like, oh my God, I thought I was the only one. Like, I have met a person with a vulva who has never had an orgasm, and they used a magic wand, they've done everything, and they're like, I just can't have an orgasm. And I'm like, these people exist,
Mm-hmm.
and they're probably not getting recognized in the research, and it's important to talk about these people who are like outliers on the fringes.
Mm-hmm.
One example I will give you in terms of a thing about sex research that drives me up the fucking wall is the debate about the existence of the G spot in the vagina. Because researchers are like, we have definitive proof it exists. Other ones are like, we have definitive proof it doesn't exist. And they're looking for it to be a discrete organ, like a
Right.
kidney or a
Right.
spleen. And granted, this is just my concept of it. What I really think it is a combination of, prior to when we are fetuses, we all kind of start out with the vulva vagina equipment, and then
Yeah.
that differentiates in various ways, right? So there is some structure that becomes the prostate if you're a penis person, and then it's kind of there's a vestigial version of that in the front vaginal wall. So there's that. I think they call it like the something sponge. I wish I could. My brain is not working. Um, there's that prostate tissue. There's also clitoral nerves. There's also the urethra. There's all this stuff in there. And some people, if you stimulate it, it gives them an orgasm or intense sensation. Some people, if you stimulate it, they're like, that does nothing for me, please stop. So, what I really think it is a constellation of just different normal anatomical stuff that for some people gives them jollies and for other people doesn't. And it makes sense because when you think about people with penis people with prostates, some of them, you tickle their prostate and they're like, hell yeah. Other people are like, I don't feel anything, or stop, that's unpleasant. It's the same.
Mm-hmm.
It makes
Mm-hmm.
sense, right?
Yeah.
So to have a researcher be like, we can't find a discrete structure that we can call the G spot. And then in one case they were like, we did a autopsy on a woman and we found this grape shaped
Ah!
sac in the front of her vagina that we think is the G spot. And I'm like, okay, unless everyone has this grape, what is this grape? Right?
Well, not to put my feminist hat on, but it just seems a little ironic to me that whether or not women have G spots as an anatomical physical structure is for some reason hotly debated, but apparently we know exactly where the male G spot is at.
Exactly. And
There's no doubts about that one.
it's like, it's
And
not
I
that
think I
deep.
think that in the discussion of women and orgasm, there's been too much focus on the people who are trying to please their partners and too much discussion of it being, like you said, more academic and like it must be an actual physical structure and we must continually look for it to find out. And it's sort of like that's not where the discussion should be at.
Yeah,
Because like
but
you
more
said,
about
the spectrum
people.
of the reality of it is like one person might have something that's just like boom, 6-inch clitoris. The next person might be like, boom, nothing's there.